you would have to get me drunk to find out. And Dan said, bring a bottle of wine. I kind of stared, and Josie said, oh yes, this is Dan. Even today, when we go to the party, he always gives me the little pinch on the derriere, and all the ladies, the pinch on the derriere. I'm like, okay. I later was given a present by Josie. Dan, as I said, was the greatest comic book artist, I feel, of the 20th century. He created Archie Comics, he created Sabrina the Teenage Witch, he created all these things. She gave me a book called The Pin-Up Art of Dan DeCarlo. Later on, as I got to know them, Josie showed me, thank you.
You were in Germany, you like imported wines.
Thank you.
Germany, I want you imported wine.
Thank you very much. I'll get it, Yeah, Gallo, oh, love it. Dan met her during the war. She was living in Belgium at the time. And Dan, well, there are two stories. I won't tell you what the two stories are, but Dan's story was very heroic, that involved, you know, parachuting and gunfire and hiding out and everything. Josie's story involved this perverted little man chasing after her. I like her story better because she showed me the artwork that he made for her back then. He spoke no French. She spoke no English. He courted her through his artwork. He would make a drawing for her that was a little cartoon Dan with candy and flowers standing on a street corner with a clock tower that said 8 o'clock. So okay, meet me here at 8 o'clock. There was another picture that she showed me that was a cartoon Dan across a table with his pants down around his ankles, and Josie dressed as an army nurse with a syringe with little hearts in it, about to administer it. And then she said, oh, and these are the pictures we keep in the family. That was my guest of honor.
Who was the guest of honor that actually escaped and fled our guest of honor team all the time to Dance with Percy?
Oh, which one was that?
Quite a few of those.
Yeah. Guests are always interesting because you never know what you're going to. Oh, Diane Duane. Diane Duane. She was from Ireland. Lovely lady, great authoress. Never went to any of her panels because she was in the bar. We just moved all of her panels to the bar. It's an Irish thing. And the sign on the door, you know, panel has been moved to the bar. And okay, that's fine. That's funny. Sunday night of the convention, time to pack up, I dragged myself into the bar and I said, wine, please. And the man said, oh, we don't have any left. What? And I looked over and there was Diane with the last of the wine in the hotel in her glass, just downing it. I have not had an Irish guest of honor since.
You know, you can have that the other way around as well. This is really, really new, actually. It was yesterday night. You know, there's a festival center down here at the convention center. Yeah. Like the thing where they have the ABBA shows and all those reenactment things. We had two older ladies coming down from there at 19 o'clock or something, 7 in the evening. And they were passing a few first years, taking photos, obviously enjoying themselves. And I thought, well, wait, the show's about to begin. Excuse me, didn't you buy tickets for that show over there? It's about to start, maybe you should move on. I said, yeah, there's ABBA, but there's a Fennec with a plush schnitzel. I thought this a lot. I'm not kidding you. People pay a lot of money for the show down there, and then they stay and dance with our first.
Great.
Speaking of convention wipeouts, clean up on aisle 7.
Should I bring a new one?
Housekeeping. Housekeeping. Yeah, I'm a housekeeping, please, babe.
Yeah, he's gonna.
I'm not
need
kidding
more.
you. I need housekeeping, please. Have you never had a cat?
Oh,
It's fine.
Next time.
yeah, I did have
It's
a cat.
fine. We bring it to the next panel and then boom. Next 5 hours.
I'm not so dangerous.
Trust me, I'm an engineer. It's fine.
Then you bring it to the next panel.
I like watching things go.
So I was
I
going to
couldn't
say,
hold it in. I'm sorry.
yes, I have had a cat. He knocked things off of tables all the time too.
You're fired.
You did not. That was not still hot, I hope.
No,
Good. I think. You think? Well, you would know.
I don't feel pain anymore.
Oh.
This is my 10th year that I'm doing this shit. So.
There's a convention in the United States. I have a security crew. They call themselves the Doorside Irregulars. If you've read the books of Gordon R. Dixon, the Doorside, but they have a lot of stories that they like to tell because they've been doing this since the 1970s. MagFest is a gaming convention that had a reputation for getting a little wild. They brought in the Doorside to try to tame it down. There's a story that Renegade likes to tell. He still has the security log that starts out with, despite the appearance of police in riot gear, the convention was remarkably quiet. The fact that there was an altercation going on in a room, and apparently somebody was like slamming a book down on a table, which through the hotel door sounded very much like gunshots. And of course the police arrived with the SWAT gear and the, the big tactical cannons and everything. They're all gathered outside the room. And the radios are marching, they're making noise, banging the door. You, open the door, open the door, open the door. Across the hall was the second in command of security, who was sleeping. This woke him up. He woke up pissed off, and the story goes, he's pulled his door open. What the fuck are you? Never mind. That's actually in the security line.
Don't laugh, we had a similar case.
I was going to say, you've had to have police arrive, huh?
One. We have our own Cards Against Humanity deck. Just with security stuff that actually happened. It's not funny anymore because it's all true, no matter how you stick it together. One of the cards answers a fuckload of fire trucks on site, and the other one is a really pissed off German police officer. That actually happens. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, one of our attendees thought it was a great idea to do some Counter-Strike reenactment shit, and ran with a bunch of airsoft guns entirely clothed in camouflage through the hotel lobby, storming in and upstairs. You have no idea how fast German police can be.
Admittedly, I've never had that problem.
You have rocket launchers in your store.
But I didn't have to call the police.
That means something.
We actually have police on scene. Local police officers just come and hang out. It's mostly a deterrent because if you want to cause mischief, and there is a very, very large, muscular black man who looks like a football linebacker in a police uniform just standing there smiling at you, you probably are not going to take out your airsoft gun and start to do stuff. This gentleman, this particular police officer, he is Deputy William Kisner at the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office. We affectionately call him Willie. That's our nickname for him, Bill Kisner. The first time I saw him was the year that my security crew invented the fursuit ear tags. You might have seen those.
Oh yeah.
They called it. It was an idea they had. All these animal creatures. We're going to do a migration study, And they would put these tags on the ears of the fursuiters that were numbered, and they thought this will just be a funny thing for this year, but the fursuiters loved it so much that they had to continue making these tags every year. And they would not make enough tags. The fursuiters had to either be really attractive or do something special to get the tags. One year, for example, they kidnapped the security chief's daughter. His daughter worked, she was 14 at the time, and she was working the convention, and a radio call came in which she said, "I'm being held hostage, bring ear tags." What had happened was these 4 fursuiters tracked this little girl down, and they kept doing this. And she said, I don't have any. And they were very insistent, doing this at her. And when she wouldn't give it to them, they just kind of surrounded her like this and wouldn't let her out. So Rene, he is my security chief. He's a little roly-poly Santa Claus man. He's a little chubby guy with a white beard and a twinkle in his eye. He was a U.S. Army Airborne Ranger 3 tours a week. So Rene came out, and he told me afterward, he said, that's when I learned fursuit language. Because one of them turned and came up to me and did this. Which I understand to mean, ear tag now, bitch. So these ear tags were showing up on fursuiters. And it was late at night. I was going through the lobby on my way to my room, and I walked past Deputy Kisner, and I stopped. And I turned, and the deputy had the tag on his uniform next to the star that he wears. I went to the security office and I said, guys, did you tag a cop? They said, yeah. I said, okay. He still wears it to this day. When he works the con, he wears his little ear tag on his uniform. But I really...
How about we go over to the sex stores?
We have to start those so soon? Oh, yeah, it's only 10:40. We usually try to save those till later, but there's so many of them. Which one should we start with?
Let's start low. How about the housekeeping ladies from Durango? It's the old one, but it's evergreen.
Oh, yeah. It's a goodie. I'll let you tell them.
Your friends, 14? I don't remember. Again? We had 2 very, let's call them cute housekeeping ladies. They were really interested in the convention, they were really getting into that. And one morning when I got up at 9, showered out of my room, walked down the corridor, and the room door was open. Nobody around. That is not right. Excuse me, security, your door is open. I walked inside, and this housekeeping lady, like that, was standing over a bed looking like this. Oh shit, idiot. The entire bed was lined with prints of the most horrific hardcore stuff.
Delightful and talented artwork of Gideon.
Guest of honors and chairman have a really interesting relationship, if you know what I mean. Well, this lady was staring at the island. I stood at the door, turned around, and that lady looked like... And without a word, she rushed towards me, stopped immediately behind me, turned around and said, "Where can I buy this?" On the very same evening, I found this girl coming out of the dealer's den door towards me on my patrol, having their entire arm full of porn. She goes by the name Jessica Becker and runs around in the first department.
I'm trying to think of what the worst one is. It gets to the point where they just sort of all run together in their mind and become one big incident.
Oh
At Midwest Fur Fest, they had a hot tub, and no, they did. Yeah, that's what
We'll
it's
later.
the hot tub was being used by two gentlemen, and hotel security went to the convention security chief and said, those two gentlemen are busy. And the security chief said, well, tell them to stop. And he said, I did, they wouldn't. So the security chief went down there, and they're both yelling at these two fellows who are completely ignoring them as they continue to be engaged in this act of aggression. They actually had to go get the convention chairman in, and he came in, and he told me that I was first inclined to take their badges, but I didn't see where they were. So he sent someone to an ice machine to fill up an ice bucket. That fixed the problem. It's what you do if you got two dogs on the lawn, you know? You take the hose, right?
Yeah.
Let me do this for you. Shall I get you a sippy cup?
What you don't know is he's my dog. As in you see.
Ah. What else was there?
The toilet is.
Which one?
The one we got. There's actually something very common. If you find somebody in, let's call it an indecent exposure in public, we usually try to solve it by humor, which sometimes really, really goes wrong. As I'm not naming the convention because this is a little bit tricky. We found somebody in a toilet stall. The toilet stall was locked, but it was very, very clear, judging by noise and the 4 feet down there, that somebody was not alone in there. You know? And as we do, excuse me, are you okay in there? The noise is weird. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. And the other one, oh shit. The problem was when they finally came out of there, we found one of the managers of the hotel. That was not a good thing.
Well, that at least gives you a little bit of leverage. If something goes wrong and the manager has a complaint, you can just say, I'll tell you what, why don't we just forget this incident, we'll forget the other.
Okay.
At an American convention, if you are ever attending an American convention and you hear on the security radio the call, "Go meet Donald Duck" in the lobby. Donald Duck is a code for a man wearing no pants. Yes, yes. It's why not? There's another one. Speaking of radio codes,
Again, we have a radio code here. It's called Froschpotzenmeter. It's a really long story behind it in German, but it literally translates to frog pussy leather. It's hard to explain, wasn't it?
yeah, I know.
It was a German brand at some point. EF13, and yeah, we had an inflatable frog down in the lobby.
Oh, yes.
Huge. And the code I got is, we have a frog in the lobby. Take him out then? Where's the problem? No, this frog has an inflatable 2-meter penis. That is why we ban rubber suits in public.
And I knew that guy too. When I found out who it was, I'm like, Jesus. Two of the Ranting Griffin became involved in a misunderstanding on the radio. He was at the Consuite. Midwest Fur Fest still runs a Consuite, a public room where they serve food, where anyone can come in and get a snack or something. I still don't know how they do that with the number of people they have, but it's amazing. And at one point, two came in, and there was a security guy frantically looking around, and two said to him, "What's wrong?" And the man saying, "Where's the oatmeal? I can't find the oatmeal." And two thought this was funny. So he took the security guy's radio and he said, "Attention all staff, the oatmeal is missing. Repeat, the oatmeal is missing." Security came running, police came running, everybody converged on the room. Two did not know that Midwest Fur Fest had chosen the word oatmeal to refer to the convention's cash deposit. So they can say such things as, "We need some more oatmeal in registration for the staff," sort of thing. We generally don't grab con radios and say things anymore because of that. You know, I can like grab Dari's radio and say something like "frog pussy leather" in the line. Although I don't know why I'd say that.
Because it's you.
Yeah. But radios often create interesting situations like that. I'm trying to think of some of the best radio calls I've heard. You think of one while I try to remember. I just thought of one. Yeah.
One of the worst I ever remember is we have two people hung from the roof. Thing was, there was a radio call that one or two people, or whatever it was hanging from the roof, and everybody thought, "Oh my God, suicide! Somebody did something." When we went there, it was one of those what's the name? These Under Armour suits you wear under the fursuit. One of those, the fursuit on top, head on top, hung up on the window. Police was really fast. For the night last year, when we came here to the hotel, and we had 6 ambulances in one go. One came, the next I drove off. One came, then by the end, we had the first one again and say, "Hi."
You know that you've been in a hotel in a city too long when something horrible happens and the ambulance comes screaming up and the ambulance driver jumps out and says, "Hello, Dari." What do you have for me this time?
Don't laugh, it happens.
Yeah. It's always unnerving to me to see emergency vehicles pull up in front of the hotel, because unless I have gotten a radio report, I don't know what it is. Is it some kid who had too much to drink? Has somebody fallen down the stairs and broken their neck? Has there been, I don't know, an oatmeal situation? But it happens all the time. Usually if I only see one emergency vehicle, I don't worry. It's only when I see like a line of fire engines and things like that.
hotel on fire?
Oh yeah, you know that tale. I am still trying, I think I pushed this so far into the depths of my memory that I cannot remember exactly how it went. It was something similar to the oatmeal situation. Oh, now I remember. I'm borrowing a lot of stories from Midwest Fur Fest because I remember theirs a lot better, Schadenfreude, than I remember mine. They received an angry letter from an attendee. A very, very angry letter. This man had his entire convention experience ruined. And they took this letter to the hotel manager because it was CC'd to him. And the letter was complaining bitterly about the hotel buffet. And it began with, "I am certain by now you are aware of the butter situation." He went on to describe how on the hotel buffet we had the waffles, then the syrup, then the butter. As anyone knows, we should have the butter preceding the syrup. How they were reversed is anyone's guess, but this particular inefficiency caused him to have to back up. This was a serious letter. They took it to the head chef, who looked at it and said, "Ah, yes, the butter situation." If you know Alkali, he is the very, very tall man in American Fandom, wears the top hat. He still likes to wear a button that just has a stick of butter in the word situation. But that one became something of a code phrase as well. The security call will go out, "We have a butter situation," which is essentially, we have a whiny attendee complaining about nothing. Please come shut him up.
Yeah.
That's the butter situation.
We have the same, we call it the carpet situation.
Oh, the carpet situation.
I'm
How
sure
did it get
you
that?
remember that.
Was that the one where the guy didn't like the carpeting
Yep.
and wanted it changed or something?
Pattern of this carpet doesn't fit my fursuit colors. You can't do this. Remember the feedback section?
Yeah.
17, 18.
The one that I.
Oh yes.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I still feel
love you
bad.
for that one.
No, it's not fair.
It's awesome.
At feedback sessions, the chairman cannot say what he's thinking. He cannot say, "That's the stupidest idea I ever heard of. Get out of here!" He can only think it, and he has to keep smiling and say, "That's an interesting suggestion. We will take it under advisement." It's very frustrating for the chairman. It's like you feel the fist of death wanting to fly, and you have to.
Now, that particular day, we had a feedback session where a gentleman said, the prices in this hotel, they are insane, this is criminal, they can't charge that much for this food. And we all went,
They couldn't say anything, but this is not my con.